as you all know, times are really difficult right now for everyone. So I decided to show you guys how my wife and I were able to cut down our total monthly expenses by 51% over the past couple of months. This video is by no means a way to flex, but rather to show you guys some real life examples with real numbers of how we did it, so that you can perhaps apply some of the techniques that we used to improve your own financial situation. And make sure to stick around until the end, as I have a little gift for you guys and I also have a really big announcement to make. Okay, so without further ado, let's start saving some moolah. Now, I made a video a while ago where I gave an exact breakdown of both our income and expenses for 2020 and 2021. So in this video, I'm going to compare our average expenses over the past 3 months with our average expenses from 2021 to show you where and how we were able to cut down on. Now, there are many different ways that you can go about saving money, but the first important thing is to actually know how much you are spending. And the only real way to know this is to track every single rand and cent that goes out of your pocket. Now, we use a simple Excel spreadsheet where we jot down every single transaction on our banking statements for the month, and then we also go through all of our slippies to make sure we don't miss anything. This may sound tedious, but it really only takes about 2 hours a month to do. We then categorize each transaction according to the following categories on the screen, and then we draw a summary for the month. This is really simple to do, but you can also use a budgeting app like 22/7 if you are too lazy to do this manually. I personally found this app to be too limiting for my OCD mind, but I guess I can do a review on the app if you guys are interested. So if so, just let me know down in the comments. Now, obviously, in some months you will pay more in one category than others, so it is important to track at least 3 months in a row to then get an average. And obviously, the more months you do this, the more accurate you would know what exactly you are spending on each category. And then for each subsequent month, you can then compare your spending for that month with your average spending to see which categories you overspent on. And voila, you just created a budget. Wasn't that bad, was it? Okay, but just knowing how much you are spending is not enough. The next step would be to start dissecting each and every category to see where exactly you can shave off some rands. It would make most sense to start with the categories that you spend the most money on, as this will have the biggest impact on your overall savings percentage. Okay, so now that we are done with the theory, it is time to get our hands all dirty with the practical part. Now, I'm going to use our actual expenses as an example and then walk you through each category at a time while giving you some helpful tips on how you can cut down your expenses as well. Just note that these numbers are for 2 people. Alright, so by far the biggest expense for us last year was food, which we splurged an average of 10,700 Rand per month. I know, that's horrible. This was obviously way too much for 2 people, so we took a step back and took a serious look at our lifestyle, and I am proud to say that we cut that expense down by 64.4% to only 3,795 Rand per month. This was mainly because we cut down on most luxury items such as Woolies ice cream, Canderel, Lindt chocolates, sodas, and all the other fancy stuff that you feel you deserve after a long day's work. We did try to follow a keto diet at one stage because, you know, health, but that turned out to be pretty expensive. Eating lamb choppies every single night is not sustainable anymore, and meat is just overall very expensive. So we switched to cheaper options like chicken, pork and mince. We also increased our veggie and carb portion of our meals to prevent us from relying just on meat and fat to make us full. We also tried to meal prep at the beginning of the week and only go to the shop once a week with a clearly defined shopping list so that we know beforehand how much we plan to spend. Store savings cards are also a must-have, regardless of where you shop. The few rands that you save here and there may not seem much at first, but these can easily compound over time. Don't fall for the flashy on-sale stickers unless it is an item that you planned on buying beforehand. Also, most generic store brands cost way less than the premium brands with the exact same quality, so unless you want to look cool, just buy the generic product. Another trick is to only shop in the late afternoon just before closing time. Many stores will offer soon to expire fresh products at a massive 30 to 50% discount, which you can then just freeze and use at another time. Buy your everyday items in bulk, as these often work out cheaper per unit. Be brave when you reach the checkout aisle. These oaks were designed to lure you into buying expensive things that looks delicious, but which you don't really need. So just avoid looking at all these suckers altogether. I mean, you already have everything you need right here in your trolley, right? And just in general, try to stick to 1 or 2 grocery stores and get to know their layout and prices. Not only will this save you time trying to find all of the items, but you will also start to develop a good sense of what the products normally cost. So this will prevent you from falling victim to these fake specials and discounts. Our second biggest expense was rent, which was around 6,200 Rand per month. We stayed in a relatively small 2-bedroom apartment in Vanderbijl Park, which was more than enough for us at the time. Now, although I know that 6,200 Rand is quite low for rent, when I hear what some of you guys pay in Cape Town, we decided to sell and donate most of our stuff and then just put the rest of our valuables in a small storage compartment and then just travel with whatever we can fit into our car. We now live with our parents, and so we only pay 910 Rand per month for our storage unit, which is cutting down our rent expenses by 85.3%. Now, I know that this will obviously not be possible for everyone, but if you are really in a financial pinch, then there really is no shame to moving back with your parents until you get your life back together. But also, just in general, don't buy or rent more house than what you can actually afford. I personally like small apartments as they prevent me from buying unnecessary crap just to fill the space. Hashtag minimalism. On medical and healthcare, which was our third biggest expense, we are actually spending 4.2% more this year, so it went up from 6,184 Rand to 6,444 Rand per month. Not much to say here. Medical costs tend to increase higher than the inflation rate, so this was kind of expected. Your medical needs will be unique to you, but for us who are both still relatively young and healthy, we decided we only need a basic hospital plan with some gap cover. But if one day we start planning on having children, we might consider moving towards a more comprehensive plan. Medical insurance is a grudge purchase, but it's definitely something you will be very grateful for should something happen, because the sad reality is that a couple of days in the ICU hospital could physically bankrupt you. So this is not something that I would personally cut back on, even if times get very tough. Next up is the money we spent on buying tech, which includes things like our cell phones, laptops, all of the equipment I use to make my YouTube videos, and all the nice to have gadgets that you convince yourself you need when you are browsing the One Day Only app early in the morning. So where we used to spend 3,959 Rand per month on average on this category, we cut it down to only 27 Rand per month, which is a whopping 99.3% reduction. It's basically because we already bought most of the stuff we need for our online side hustle ventures, but also when we quit our full-time jobs, we took a massive pay cut. So this kind of forced us to need to provide really good reasons if we wanted to buy any high-priced items. For example, sitting the whole day behind your computer can really mess up your back. So I was briefly looking for a stand-up desk, and holy crap, those things are expensive. So I scoured around the house and I basically just built my own, and it may not look great, but it works perfectly fine. When your back is against the wall, you kind of find really creative ways to save money. Next up is insurance, with which we also saw an increase of 1.8% from 3,757 Rand to 3,825 Rand per month. Now, just like medical care, insurance will also go up every single year. But in order to try and keep it down, I sold my noble steed of a Peugeot 207, which eliminated its car insurance premium. If you have too many cars and you can get by with less, then sell off the ones that you don't need. It's as simple as that. But another important thing that very few people know about and actually do is to revise all of your insurance premiums every single year to try and get a cheaper quote. Your car's value will decrease every single year, so your car insurance premium should also decrease, right? But if you don't ask them, they will not do it. If you are looking for a quick and easy way to save on your car insurance, then I would highly recommend to check out Naked Insurance. You can get a free quote in less than 5 minutes on their website, and not only will you likely save a ton of money, but they also have this thing called pause cover, where you can basically stop your cover for a period of time if, for example, you go overseas and you won't drive your car for a while. We save more than 300 Rand on my wife's car insurance premium, and the whole sign-up process took us less than 10 minutes to complete. They also provide insurance on home content and individualized items, so if you want to check them out, I will leave a link down in the description. It is an affiliate link, so if you use my link to sign up, you will really help out this channel a lot, and I would really appreciate it. Alright, so next up is personal care and hygiene, where we spent 85.1% less, which was down from 3,355 Rand to just 500 Rand per month. This is mostly because we used to CrossFit a lot, but now we just switched to free home workouts and just running outside in the beautiful nature. We do miss the whole group exercise environment that CrossFit provided, but when times get tough, your gym membership is probably one of the biggest expenses that you can easily cut while still being able to get a decent workout in. There are many free exercise tutorials on YouTube, and if you want to build some muscle, then just buy a set of dumbbells and a pull-up bar, which is a once-off purchase that you can use for the rest of your life for free. Then we have transport expenses, which is 8.5% down from last year, from 3,358 to 3,064 Rand. This is mostly because we sold our one car, but seeing that fuel is also now getting ridiculously expensive, let's talk about a couple of ways that you can save money on your fuel. Apart from driving like a decent human being, meaning not speeding or accelerating too fast, make sure your car services are up to date, which includes checking your wheel alignment once every 6 months and your tire pressure once a month. Try to plan your trips in advance and don't drive around unnecessarily. Carpool to work when possible, park in free zones, and one ninja tip, fuel up during the cooler hours of the day. Fuel density drops when the temperature rises, so if it is warm outside, you will effectively get less fuel than when it is cold. And then, because fuel prices tend to change every single month nowadays, just make sure to monitor the price. It usually gets adapted on the first Wednesday of every month, so if it is due for an increase, make sure to fill it up on Tuesdays. Then our cell phone expenses came down by 83.5% from 1,997 Rand to 329 Rand per month. This is mostly because we bought both our phones as cash end of last year, and we are now only paying for the SIM card. We use the FNB Connect SIM, and because we are on level 5 on the Premier accounts, we get 30 minutes, 30 SMSs and 2 GB of data for free every single month, which is quite decent. Our household expenses came down by 98.3% from 1,249 Rand to a measly 22 Rands per month, mostly because we don't own a house or apartment anymore. Our space is very limited because we can only travel around with what we can fit into our car, so this prevents us from buying any new stuff. Our clothing expenses went down by 92.6% from 1,222 Rand to just 90 Rand per month. When we cleaned out our apartment, we realized how much clothes we actually owned. So we donated a decent amount and then decided to not buy any new clothing, except if it is to replace all the ones that are not socially accepted anymore, such as Pieter's running shoes. Please like and subscribe. Our banking fees came down by 20.9% from 834 to 660 Rand per month, which is for 2 Premier accounts and 1 Gold Business account from FNB. This might not seem like such a big win, but it is something that I am personally really proud of. Banking fees are sneaky and they can easily creep up on you. So it is worth the time to check yours and see how much you are actually spending every single month. I made a video where I compare all the cheapest bank accounts in South Africa if you want to go and check that out. But besides the saving on banking fees, we also received eBucks cashback rewards, which was more than 1,200 Rand in the month of April, which means we almost made a 100% profit on our banking fees. Now, I will soon make a video on how to make the best use of the eBucks systems from FNB, so make sure to stay tuned for that. a utilities bill of 713 Rand is now completely scrapped down because we are living with our parents. Now, there are probably over 50 ways that you can save on water and electricity, so instead of making this video too long, I will just link to 2 videos in the info cards that you can check out where I go much more in depth on these 2 topics. And then finally, our takeout expenses came down by 67.8% from 446 Rand down to only 145 Rand per month. Eating out is a luxury and something that can easily be eliminated. I'm really fortunate enough to have a wife who also happens to be a really good cook, so there really is no more reason for me to go to Maccadee's anymore. Damn it. Learning a couple of cooking skills can save you a ton of money, as making food at home is generally much cheaper than buying lunch at work every single day. Alright, so these are some of the techniques that we used to cut our monthly expenses by more than half over the past 3 months, but this is barely scratching the surface of all the ways that you can actually save some money. And given the tough times that everyone is currently living in, my wife and I decided to sit down and compile a massive list of over 200 tips and tricks on how you can save money, neatly organized under different categories. This list contains everything we've learned over the past 3 years and probably took us well over a whole month to create. And the best part is, we will give it to you for absolutely free. All I ask is that you clap the like button on this video so that it can spread to more people. So go down in the description and click on the link to download it. I am convinced that this list can help you to save more than 20% of your expenses, so it will be well worth your time to just go through all of it. Now, while cutting down expenses is really important, you will eventually reach a stage where you simply cannot cut down anymore without affecting your quality of life. And if you still struggle to pay your bills, the next step would be to start finding ways to increase your income. And this is where the big announcement comes in. To help you guys with this, I started a brand new YouTube channel called Making Money with Money Marx, where I will explore all of the different ways of making money online from the comfort of your own home, which will include things like online surveys, web testing, transcribing, researching, teaching online, running a blog, YouTube channel, affiliate marketing, and just growing several different social media platforms. I will be testing out each method myself and then share my experience to give you guys an accurate representation of what you can realistically expect to earn from each online side hustle. I am really excited for this channel because I believe that it can help so many people around the world, especially South Africans. So if you're interested in making some more money, then please go and subscribe to that channel and watch the videos. Thanks guys, let me know down in the comments if you have any questions. Have a lekker day, cheers!